Most people live their lives on autopilot. It's not our fault, it's just how we were programmed. But this can lead us to react based on old habits and assumptions rather than being responsive to the present moment. You check your phone too much during dinner and you miss the opportunity to connect with a loved one. You might skip exercise, meditation, or other healthy habits simply because you're locked into a routine that doesn't prioritize your well-being. These behaviors, while seemingly small, can start to stack up and damage our relationships and our health. We only have a finite number of days on this earth, and we don't even know how many we get. The lifespan of the average male is 73.5 years, and 79.3 years for the average female. For those that aren't so lucky, it's only 50, or 40, or even 30. The point is, life is short, and we spend most of our time trying to get by without truly living and appreciating every single day that we're given. Our brains are effectively on cruise control. Seriously, some brain scans seem to suggest that we operate only 5% of the day in a conscious state. But the thing is, we actually have the power to change that. I first came across this concept in a book called How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera, a holistic psychologist. Our brain has two main parts when it comes to control: the conscious and the subconscious mind. Think of the conscious mind as the CEO. It lives in the prefrontal cortex of our brain and does all of the critical thinking and decision making. But it's not always in charge as much as we think. Enter the subconscious mind. It's like an autopilot system, managing everything from your heartbeat to your blink rate without you needing to think about it. It loves efficiency and sticks to routines and habits because they save energy. But this comfort zone is cozy, too cozy. We can get trapped in this safe place, going through motions without thinking about it, because it's easy and it's comfortable. And the worst part is, because it all takes place in the subconscious mind, we, meaning our conscious brain, often aren't even aware that this is happening most of the time. This is what can keep us watching too much TV, not connecting enough with our partners, getting addicted to drugs, or not pursuing that new business idea. Your brain flips the cruise control button on, and that becomes the default setting. And it's a powerful one for your conscious mind, the CEO, to override. This is due to something called the Homeostatic Impulse, which is like a special power our bodies have to keep everything working smoothly inside, no matter what's happening outside. Think of it as your body's built-in thermostat. Just like the thermostat that controls the temperature in a house, this impulse regulates essential functions like body temperature and blood pressure, and even keeps our blood from getting too basic or too acidic. It basically keeps our bodies on track and operating within safe limits, not too high or not too low. But this impulse doesn't just look after our physical body, it also affects how we think and feel. This system prefers predictability and efficiency for our safety, which is why it often resists changes, even those that our conscious brain knows are beneficial for us, and pulls us back to what's familiar. This results in a metaphorical tug-of-war between the conscious and subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind often ultimately wins out. We feel this resistance in the form of anxiety, agitation, detachment, and so on, and it can manifest in excuses that keep us in our habitual patterns. So, how do we break this vicious cycle of zombified living on autopilot? Breaking free from this cycle means understanding that our subconscious isn't necessarily the villain here. It's just trying to protect us from potential dangers in the unknown. To grow, we just need to reassure it that new, conscious choices are safe and can be very beneficial. And how do we do that? By working out our brain's neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is our brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections or pathways throughout our lives. When you learn something new, whether it's riding a bike, playing the piano, or practicing mindfulness, your brain creates new pathways and can even strengthen existing ones, making it easier to learn similar things in the future. This is why people who speak more than one language pick up additional languages much easier. Their brains are wired to do so from past behavior. But here's the really exciting part. These changes aren't just about learning new skills. They also apply to our behaviors and our thought patterns. For instance, each time you choose to respond calmly in a stressful situation, instead of reacting out of habit, you strengthen pathways associated with calmness and weaken those associated with stress. Think of it like a mental gym. Just as lifting weights builds muscle, practicing positive thinking and conscious decision-making strengthens the brain areas associated with those thoughts. Over time, this can actually change the physical structure of your brain, making positivity more of an automatic response. It's about rewiring your autopilot with better habits so that you can lead a life where you are actually in control. But how do we find that cruise control switch and flip it off? Not that kind of flip off. How do we put the CEO back in charge? Practices like mindfulness, meditation, and reflective journaling can help us become more aware of the decisions we make and the consequences that they have. Functional MRI brain scans have shown evidence that consistent, conscious practices can actually thicken the prefrontal lobes, which is where our conscious awareness takes place. This can be as simple as taking 2 minutes to stop, be present, and reflect on your day. Or if you want a regimented plan to follow, try this daily 2-step exercise. It takes less than 5 minutes each day. Number 1, take a 2-minute mindful moment. Anytime during the day, pause and think about what you're doing, the decisions you've made today, and the reactions that you've had. Notice any mental resistance you may feel, and acknowledge it and understand that it's normal. As Dr. LaPera states, your subconscious mind doesn't like to be on display. It doesn't like to be witnessed. You can begin to recognize that the discomfort you feel here is a normal and necessary part of change, and that it's not danger or a signal to retreat. It's an invitation and an opportunity to explore growth. To reinforce this mindfulness, take another 2 minutes in the evening or before bed to do, number 2, a 2-minute gratitude exercise. You simply reflect on 3 things that you were grateful for today. Reflect on why each of those things made you feel grateful. You can set an alarm on your phone for each of these 2 things to remind you to make time for it. Anytime you take a moment to stop and reflect on what you're doing in the present moment, you're turning off the cruise control. You're stepping out of autopilot and letting your conscious brain take over and take stock of your surroundings, your feelings, and your emotions. Remember, the goal is to make incremental changes that all add up to significant transformations. With each step outside your comfort zone, you're not just learning about the world, you're learning about yourself.